What's going on, guys? Here I'm joined with my friend Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hello.
We are looking at the COD Champs bracket for tomorrow. We're finally at the end of the season. Thank God. I hate Modern Warfare, kind of, but that's okay. Champs is tomorrow. We begin, and we're gonna go through our brackets and see who we think's gonna win. So let's get it started right here. All the way in winners round one. How this is gonna work, Josh? So I think we're just gonna go, winners round one, elim round one, and we're just gonna go. I'll go through mine, and then you go through yours, and we'll go like one at a time. So
Just top to bottom.
yeah. So starting winners round one, subliners versus Rocker. I have subliners winning 3-2. The Rocker looked real strong earlier in the season, and they have just been falling off all season. And subliners, have had a couple strong events towards the end of the year. I forget which event it was where they won their event, and the next event they didn't do well. But overall, I think subliners have been looking better at the end of the year, and Rocker is just really fallen off there. So that's why I got them. Subliners winning 3-2. For Toronto Ultra versus the Royal Ravens, I have Toronto winning that series 3-1. I believe that Toronto's just been looking very strong at the end of the season compared to the Ravens, who have just kind of been a mid-tier team all season, to be honest. I haven't really seen them, step up, and I haven't seen them drop down. So that's it for my winners round one games. Over in the elim round one, I got Optic Gaming versus the LA Gorillas. I got Optic winning that 3-1. I mean, Gorillas are really only good at S&D, so I'm giving them S&D in that series, and I really don't see them pulling out that win. And then over with Paris Legion versus Seattle Surge. Honestly, I have Legion winning 3-2. The only reason I even am giving Seattle two maps is they have some veterans on that team that make it close, but overall, Seattle's just had a really rough year. So that's kind of my round. Let's go look at Josh's bracket here, and he can go through what he's got.
Yeah, so for winners round one, I have the subliners winning 3-1. I think the subliners going late have been only getting better. They lost the event right after, like you said, like the one right after they won. They lost that because I'm pretty sure that was the event where the MP5 got nerfed. I think that was the first event after that. So they had to do a bunch of stuff, but now that they have Mac back on an SMG, they're going to be fine. Rocker have been doing terrible. They just benched GodRx. So every team so far that's benched someone has been getting really good. So I think this top one is going to be a really wild one for people to predict because for all we know, it's going to be like Optic and they're going to pop off and win the whole thing. But I'm going to bank on one rookie doing enough to win their S&D, and that's about it. That's why I have it 3-1. Then Toronto just won the last series. They're coming off hot. Royal Ravens are middle of the pack. They beat teams lower than them, not convincingly. They just kind of win 3-2. So I'm thinking Ultra will manage to pull off this win if they can like steamroll from where they were before. So that's why I have them going 3-2. I mean, the Ravens could pull something off because in my opinion they have the better ARs in this AR heavier meta. They should be better, but they just can't seem to get the pieces together.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of, like I said, they just kind of a middle tier team all year that just have not been able to make anything special happen. So
Yeah, I think the S&Ds are going to be fun to watch between them because Ultra is really good at S&D mainly because of bans, and then
freaking
the Royal Ravens are
Luskin
all
and
well, right.
Scraps
Then
on
the Royal Ravens
snipers.
are good because Luskin's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a limb round one, I have Optic 3-0 in Gorillas with Draza and who's the other guy? I don't know the other guy. With the two new people on Optic, they have been an utter menace, which is why if you look, you see a very good run of Optic. But yeah, no, they're gonna make a nice team. It's Grills don't really stand a chance. They're gonna get utterly destroyed. It's gonna be 3-0. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a bad series there. I mean, so the bottom one, the Legion Surge series, I put 3-1, but that's strictly because I don't know. I'm assuming the AN94 is GA'd. If the AN94 isn't GA'd, I could very well see Surge winning because Octane is, I think, the best player who benefits from the AN94 going into the game, and I think he can do some crazy things. So I think if the AN94 is un-GA'd, you could see Seattle win it, but I think it is GA'd.
Yeah.
So that's
Have
why
we
I have
ever
Legion
had
winning.
a new gun that's been added that hasn't been GA'd? I feel like it definitely would be.
The Grau.
Okay. So I guess we'll see. I haven't really paid attention. I guess we'll see tomorrow because that game's tomorrow, I believe. The Elim
Yeah, the
rounds.
11
So,
games are tomorrow.
all right, I'm gonna move over to my winners round two and Elim round two. So starting off at the very top there, Chicago Huntsmen versus New York Subliners. I got Subliners taking this series 3-2. Um, Huntsmen looked really weak at the Toronto event, quite honestly, in my opinion. And Subliners have just been peaking at the end of the season here, so I think it's going to be close. But I do have Subliners coming out on top on this series. Moving down to Florida versus Ultra, I have Florida winning 3-2. Ultra has been looking strong. They looked really strong at their event, but overall, I think just Florida is a little bit too strong for Ultra to pull off that win. So I'm going to give Florida that win 3-2. Down in Elim round two, Optic Gaming versus Rocker. I have Optic winning 3-1. Or not Optic. Yeah, Optic winning 3-1 over Rocker. I don't even know what I just said. Rocker have just been on the decline all season, and Optic is peaking at the right time. So I think they are a sure bet for that game. And then finally, Ravens versus Legion. I got the Ravens winning that 3-2. These two teams are very close in my opinion. They're both very middle of the pack teams, but I think that the Ravens have just a slightly better team overall with their ARs, and they have a very slight edge over Legion. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see this game go, 3-2 in favor of Legion. I think this game's a real toss-up in my opinion. Let's take a look and see
Yeah.
what Josh has here.
So you're not gonna hear much different from me. We literally have 3 of the 4 exact same score lines. So the first round, I have Subliners beating Huntsman 3-2. Subliners are arguably the fifth or fourth best team, tied with Huntsman. Like I think that's just deserved at this point. They
I
have been
agree.
turning it on. Mac has been showing that he probably should have been in MVP talks. I think he's the single reason they're here, but neither here nor there, I suppose.
Probably came in
But yeah,
too late to be considered, honestly, would be my guess.
probably the same thing with like Awakening.
Yeah.
But either way, I think they're just a better team. Like you have Arcides on Huntsman who's popping off. Scump has not been playing to a Scump level. Like if you have the name Scump, like you should be playing to an all-star level, and I think he's playing at an above average level, not an all-star level that they need. So I don't think they're gonna do it. Also, there's rumors that he might be playing an AR, and that just sounds really stupid. Anyway, Florida Ultra. I have Florida winning 3-1. I think Florida is way better than Ultra. I think Florida strives at game planning. I think that's where their team really is good. Like I think their coaching is really good. So I think that Florida will have a crazy good game plan to be like, hey Ultra, like we know what you did. We see how you won the last event, and we're gonna not let that happen. So I think they're gonna win it 3-1. Down into losers. Rocker has been on the decline. They have a rookie coming in. Apparently they've been really good. It's not going to be enough to stop Optic Gaming with their new players. They're honestly unstoppable. They've taken Mutineers to round fives repeatedly, like map 5 round 11s. They are a whole another beast that is way too good for Rocker. They're going to win it 3-1 easily. And then Royal Ravens and Legion. On paper, Royal Ravens should be way better than Legion. For some reason, the games never go that way. This is going to a round 5. I honest to God have no idea which way it's going to go. I put Ravens down. I have no idea because they always have the craziest series ever when these two play. So we'll see how it goes when it happens.
It's true. Like I said, toss up there. I could see it go either way. I have Ravens as well, but if Legion pull it out, I would not at all be surprised. So
No, I think the last time they played, or maybe not last time, but one of the times they had a St. Petra where I think Legion went up like 4-0, and then Ravens came back to win 6-4, and it was like Yeah, okay. That's how St. Petro S&D works.
Yep. All right. Move back to my bracket and over to winners round 3 and Elim round 3. So at the very top here, FaZe versus Subliners. I have FaZe winning this series 3-1. I mean, although Subliners have been looking good close to the end of the year here, I think FaZe is just too good of a team. They're well coached with Crowder and everything, and I think they're going to pull out this series win. Moving down to Dallas versus the Mutineers. This has been a really back and forth series all season. I checked a couple weeks ago. I think they're basically tied in this series, or only one team is up by one maybe. But I think Dallas is going to pull this win out 3-2. Empire, in my opinion, is the best in this new AR heavy-ish meta. I mean, I know the MP5 is, they no longer have the ammo G8, I believe, so it's okay, but I still think that Dallas you know, is the ones in this league that, in the entire league really, that benefit most from this new M4 meta. Down in the Elim bracket, Optic versus Ultra. I have Optic winning this 3-2. Um, I think Slasher is just, I mean, he's experienced as it comes in this league, and I think him alone, he's going to carry this team and take the weight and the responsibility of making it through champs, and that's going to pull them to a 3-2 win over Ultra. And then finally, Huntsman versus the Ravens, or even Legion, honestly. No matter who this is, I have it Huntsman versus Ravens. I think Huntsman are going to win 3-1. Um, Huntsmen have a lot of veterans on their team. They got Formal, they got Scump. Um, who else do they have? I'm drawing a blank.
Arceus
Arcides.
Pristini.
So they have, the Ravens also have a lot of, veterans, but I think Huntsmen have, some a little bit more experience, and they're gonna have the better composure to come down here in the losers bracket or the Elam bracket and pull out a 3-1 win over the Ravens. Jumping over to Josh's bracket again.
Yeah, so I felt the same way about the FaZe thing. FaZe, I think, is just really good. They have two MVP worthy players on their team. I mean, even with the non MVPs, look at Abizi, Priesta. It's not easy to get around them. I think the subliners will do well. I think they'll probably win the Dom and they'll sneak like their hard point in. But I think FaZe is gonna lock it down out elsewhere, and that's why it's 3-2. For the Empire Mutineers one, I think the Mutineers are going to be looking just hot. I think they're going to come out the gates hot in the first two games. I think they know how to beat Empire. They've done it before, and when they have, they've dominated Empire. So I think it just comes down to game planning. I think that's a big key to Mutineers doing well is how well they can game plan against teams, and Empire seems to struggle when it comes to game planning. So I think Mutineers will win this one. Once again, a close one, 3-2. And then jumping down to the elim round, I have Optic winning 3-2 as well. I think this is a really close one. I think the way Ultra have been picking it up, they are a formidable foe to Optic. But I think Optic, with the way Slasher is trying to keep everyone in check, I think Optic is going to squeeze by this one. It's probably going to be a late S&D round. It's probably going to be like a round 10, round 11 S&D to win it. But I think Optic will find a way to win it. And then Chicago Huntsman, Royal Ravens. I mean, I'm sure this matchup has happened like 5 times this year, and every single time it seems that Huntsman just has the Royal Ravens number. I don't think this time's going to be any different. It's going to be a easy 3-1 for Huntsman.
All right, let's jump back over to my bracket. Let's stay down here in Elim 4 and Elim 5. We'll do those together next before we jump back to the winners bracket, kind of how it's set up here. So in Elim round 4, I have Optic versus the Subliners. I have Optic winning this 3-2. I think, Huntsman, jeez. Subliners just got knocked down to the Elim round after their loss against FaZe. I think Optic has the momentum in the Elim round, and I think they shoot Subliners straight out of the tournament in a 3-2 fashion. Down in the other game in Elim round 4, Mutineers versus Huntsmen. Um, I think the Mutineers have just looked better recently towards the end of the season here. I mean, they're both really good teams, but Huntsman, the last couple tournaments, I've just not been super impressed, and obviously Florida has been looking really strong towards the end of the year here, and so I think Florida's going to pull out that 3-2 win. In Elim round 5, my match is Florida versus Optic. I think Florida's going to win this 3-1. No matter how much Slasher tries to carry this team and no matter how much momentum they have, I think Florida's just too good of a team, and this is where Optic's Cinderella story is going to end, unfortunately, for them. So we'll jump over to Josh here now.
Yeah, I have Optic Cinderella story ending a little bit premature. I have them losing in round 4 to the subliners. I think the subliners just outclass Optic. I think Optic probably wins the S&D, and I think subliners win every respawn game because that's where they truly thrive. I I just do not think Optic is on the same level as subliners. I could be completely mistaken, but I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty easy game for subliners. Also, I don't think there's any momentum. Like I don't think teams are going to have momentum, cuz I don't like do these games go at the same day?
That's a great question. I haven't looked to see these games are in the same day. The schedule's weird, obviously. I know they basically go like a whole weekend after. Honestly, Elam round 4 might be the following weekend. It actually looks
Well,
like
right,
it is. It looks like championship weekend. So Elam 4 might actually be like an entire weekend from now, like 10 days from now instead of like 3. So you
right.
might be right.
It's going to be like a no momentum thing, so it's who shows up like ready to win. So, I think that's my opinion on that. And then going into the other limb game, I think Dallas is better. Like Dallas is just the better team than Huntsman. They thrive off the new meta. They're gonna win it 3-1. It's gonna be easy, quick. How they've dealt with them every other time. Crim Six is gonna get the final laugh out of Scump Informal. A
I
bittersweet ending
I
to
would
all the
love
Scump
that.
fans.
I would love that.
But yeah, I mean the it's gonna be a nice rivalry game. It's gonna be a really fun game to watch. Hopefully they can get some trash talk in that we can see, but it's gonna be a good match. And then going into elimination round 5, I have Empire winning 3-1. I think Empire and Subliners are very similar teams. I think Empire is the better team. However, we have seen Subliners win that before. Like they have shown that they can beat Empire. I don't think this will be the time that they do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did do it. So I'm having Empire win it 3-1. I'm thinking Subliners probably win their own hardpoint pick and then Empire win the rest. But that's my take on round 5.
All right. Getting down to the very end here. So we're going to go one at a time here. Winners finals. My series is Atlanta FaZe versus Dallas Empire. This is going to be a very close game. I mean, these teams matched up multiple times all year. It's gone back and forth. With the new meta, I think Empire have the very slight edge over FaZe, and I think with that slight edge, they're gonna win this series 3-2. Let's take a look at what Josh has.
Yeah, I mean your bracket's already wrong. You're not winning the 100k. That's because you're looking at the winning bracket right here. And you're gonna have FaZe versus the Mutineers in the winning bracket, and the FaZe are gonna be able to just squeak by Mutineers. It's gonna be a close. No, it's not. I'm lying. It's gonna be a blowout. That last S&D, FaZe are gonna wake up. They're gonna turn it on, and they're gonna cream Mutineers in that game. That round 5, game 5. It's gonna be like 6-0. It's actually going to be an obliteration. FaZe are gonna do what they always do. They're gonna lose the first two, reverse sweep.
That'd be quite the
They
winners finals.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna pull the typical Atlanta face. They're gonna go down, and then they're gonna win Dom Hardpoint Surge, and it's going to be bad. It is gonna be a typical phase series. That's what you're looking at here.
All right.
And then looking into the Elim finals, it's gonna be a tough one. You can go.
Start with my limb finals here. I obviously have FaZe dropping down there after they lose in the winners finals, and Florida. Um, this is another series that we've seen multiple times all season, really. And Florida just seems to have FaZe's number this year, and so I think it's going to be a close series. But just because of you've been talking about Florida's game planning all year, they've had this matchup multiple times all year. And so I think Florida's going to pull off this win 3-2 over the Atlanta FaZe. Obviously, your bracket's a little different, so we'll take a look at what you got.
See, in the Olymp finals, we have the Empire versus the Mutineers. And I think you can go back here and see that the Mutineers already beat the Empire in winners round 3. So their surprise factor is gone. This is the Empire's turn to take a little jab back, and they're gonna win it here when it matters to put them into the championship. The Mutineers don't have that surprise game plan anymore. You can't game plan for something that has already happened. The Empire now have the game planning upper hand, and that's going to allow them to beat them 3-2.
Now,
Easy.
that's probably
Easy game.
I believe this Elim finals that Sunday, isn't it? I think the winners final and Elim round 5 are Saturday, and then I think the finals is Sunday, maybe. All right, so it's down to the end. We are into our championship match. Obviously, the team coming from winners finals already get a one map advantage. They're doing something different this year, obviously, with the best of 9, with the team coming from winners getting the one map advantage. Before we even get into this, what are your opinions on the best of 9 winners gets
Oh my
one map already?
god. What a dumb mechanic. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. When you told me that, I was disgusted. I don't see the point in it. What is one round going to change in a best of 9?
Yeah, it basically changed it from the winner now has to win one more map instead of they only need to win one best of 3, and the loser has to win one less map. So obviously in the old one it was 2 best of 5. So the loser would have to win 6 maps to win, and the winner would have to win 3
3.
maps to win. So I mean, it's interesting. I think with 12 teams this year, the entire bracket's a little odd just because of everyone making it. So hopefully next year we get 16 teams, which I think I've heard a lot of rumors that there are teams lined up, so I guess we'll see what happens. But all right, no more delay. Championship match. Dallas Empire versus Florida Mutineers in my bracket. I got Dallas Empire 5-3. I think Empire is just the better team with this new AR meta. I think Clay and Krim, the veterans that they are, I mean, Krim C6. I don't even know. This man changed his name. I can't remember to call him C6. Sorry, Krim. Um, but I think they're veterans and they're gonna lead this team to picking up the first ever CDL Champs. So that's my opinion. I know yours is slightly different here. Explain your pick.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. The Empire is better than Mutineers, as I have displayed in my Limb finals, but they aren't better than FaZe. I am not a FaZe fan. I want this to be very clear. I am an Empire and Mutineers fan,
Yeah,
but FaZe is just
I just
better.
want to let everyone know here that my favorite team is actually FaZe, and Josh's favorite team is Dallas, and I have Dallas winning, and Josh has FaZe winning, so we're definitely not picking our favorite teams here. We're actually doing a bracket based on what we think, trying to be as unbiased as possible and going with who we think the better team is. So go ahead and continue.
Yeah,
Sorry, just had to make that
yeah,
note.
yeah. I'm not a big FaZe guy. They're overhyped. It's annoying, but they aren't overhyped. Like that's the annoying part is that they should be overhyped. They aren't. They are an insanely good team. It's hard to deal with Simp, Abizi, Celium. Like in search, what do? Just not play where Abizi is? Cool. Give him full map control and S and D, and you'll lose. Oh, what are you gonna do? Challenge Simp Sniper? You lose. That like there's no answers to FaZe. So I think that given that FaZe gets a free map count for coming in from winners, they're gonna win 2 maps for every map Dallas wins 1. Like I think it's that simple. They're gonna go 4-2 in maps and win. I think that FaZe just simply outclassed Dallas when it comes to the finals. It hurts to say it, but FaZe is gonna win the first CDL championship. Get a crisp 500K per player.
I don't even know what it is. Something like that. Something crazy. Those damn friggin' and if you think about all those players like did well last year too. Priest obviously was second place. Abizi and Simp were first place. Who else is on that team?
Major Maniac
Major
did not do
Maniac. No,
well.
he did not do well. So, at least 3 of them did well. Crowder was the coach. I don't know how much he got for coaching 100 Thieves through all that, but none of those players did too poorly last season either. So, another 500K is,
Well, yeah, Simp
they're,
just bought a house,
yeah.
so clearly he's not doing bad at age 19.
Yeah, dude. When I was 19, I don't even know,
I was
dude.
buying a house.
Yeah, that I'm 21 and still not buying a house, so. All right, Josh. Well, thank you for coming on. Glad we're finally at the end of the season. Like I said, not a huge fan of Modern Warfare, but it all the beginning of the end starts tomorrow. First match is at 3 p.m. I'm looking at it right now, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Paris Legion versus Seattle Surge. So sure, I'll make sure to watch that match, and guess we'll see how well our predictions stack up here. So Josh, again, thanks for coming on. Everyone watching the video, thank you for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Check out my Twitter and my Twitch channel that are linked down below. I'll also link Josh's stuff down below for him. He streams every once in a while as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.